Can we talk about the elephant in the room? Which is pretty much what everyone says when they're talking about this elephant in the room. Dumbo, Tim Burton's masterpiece, hitting theaters everywhere. Also, we'll squirm as we try not to plot spoil Us, and also pretend like we know everything that's going on in this movie. Also, hate to plot spoil, Patrick Wilson's the bad guy. Jason Momoa talks to us about that and more, and Aquaman on this edition of Extra Butter, the show where we talk about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. Ah! No more Us. Come on. Hold on. Let's try an experiment. Walk the way she does in the movie. It's fantastic. We'll be talking about Us. We'll be talking about all the other movies this weekend at the box office. And you join us. It's a show where we talk about movies pretty much the way you talk about movies. Me and these guys. Hi, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, hey, hey.
All right, starting over there, he is the world-famous comedian at large, Steph Sanders.
Steph Sanders,
Buena.
a.k.a. grown man head, 12-year-old body. Comedian Steph Sanders everywhere. Stefan Sanders on Facebook.
World-famous travel blogger Kelly Savannah Deaton. Where do we find you?
Kelly Savannah Deaton.
Her YouTube channel still crushing it everywhere.
Maria Gloria. Maria Gloria.
Find me right here at TV Marquez Allen. And also, we should celebrate something new, you guys.
What?
Check
We
out
showered.
our fledgling. Yes, we showered, and to celebrate
Right,
me
yeah.
growing
Oh.
for once, we have
washed
our
our hair.
We did.
done.
You did
done?
too.
You did too,
I
yeah.
did see.
it is bouncing.
You see my
and-
bangs?
And behaving.
You have the
We have a
sauce.
YouTube channel, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah.
All right, you ready? It's very complicated, so write it down so you know how to subscribe. Ready?
Get your
It's-
notepad out.
Extra butter. That's it.
Oh
Just
my
write
God.
extra butter on
Yeah.
YouTube.
How did you come up with that?
It's a thing, it's a deal.
Wow.
But please
That's
subscribe
kinda neat.
and join us for celebrity interviews like you're about to see. All right, Us crushed it at the box office.
Killed it.
You saw it coming a mile away.
I did. I knew this was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be #1, but I didn't know it was gonna be this amount of money. Jesus, I really didn't get that at all. That was crazy. But I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for the cast. I'm proud of everybody. Great movie. Great everything.
What I love about it, you guys, doesn't it seem like it's 3 movies in one? If you break this up into
Yeah.
acts, you
Yes.
have the original suspense, high concept first act. The second act displays like a great old school horror movie, right?
Man, it was a lot more psychologically disturbing
Yeah.
than I anticipated. Like, I thought it would be pretty scary, but
Yeah.
it really makes you think. And
Right.
I think that's
Yeah.
the making of a great horror film.
It played to me like an independent movie, which I love
yes.
so much because it was an actor's movie. It was a director's movie, but it was
Right.
also super mainstream,
Yeah.
and it really caught so many people at once. It was just so good. I'm still like, wow about
Yeah.
it.
Let me ask you, do you at all, in watching the lead male played by Winston Duke, do you get at all Uncle Phil? Do you see that? Anybody here?
I did get Uncle Phil. I did get
Yes.
Uncle Phil with a little edge.
Oh yeah.
Listen to this. When I talked to Jordan Peele, he was even
funny.
surprised that Winston had made that choice. Take a look.
Well, the Uncle Phil, that one's news to me. I had no idea that he was going for some Fresh Prince in this movie.
So if y'all want to get crazy, we can get crazy.
And then, you know, I do the Easter egg game was so fun in Get Out, and so I went pretty crazy with it in this one. But you know, because I'll just scroll through the internet and to look at fan theories.
So if this is true, if he's online to see what fans are talking about, what do you think that's being generated by the discussion of Us is going to go into effect his 3rd movie?
I think that he has set the bar so high for himself, but he's somebody that is such a perfectionist, such a hard worker, and he's got a creative mind. Like, it's only going to keep getting better and better, honestly.
I remember on the set, Lupita was having trouble talking about it, and later at the junket, like, have you seen interviews with her trying not to give away?
yeah.
Man, and
It's
she's
hard.
so elegant when she speaks
Yeah.
too, so you can tell she's like, oh, I almost just spoiled the movie, but let's continue.
Yeah, but I've seen her choke up where she sounds like her tether for a moment. Where
Yeah.
Stop that.
All right, she can go that
Keep
far,
up
but
with
take a
that
look.
email.
Yeah.
At the heart of it, it is a story about an all-American family pursuing the American dream. And along the way, things start to go really awry.
You see her struggling over
Oh,
there?
yeah.
You almost gave it away.
She
So
didn't want
hard.
to give anything away.
Yeah.
She did her job. She held her own.
Jordan Peele, it's so hard to talk to anybody in the cast because there's so many spoiler opportunities.
Yes.
Man.
And while they were making the movie, because they pretty much knew where it was going. All right,
yeah.
so warning right now, if we get close to plot spoiling, it's going to happen right about now. I'm going to call in backup someone who has seen the film at least 3 times. Sean Edwards, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
What's up, everybody?
Sean, so I'm going to use you as a deal breaker right now because we have many arguments going around the room, so you are going to be our ultimate deal breaker. All right, question number 1.
Do you think that the little boy was switched?
We can talk about this?
Yeah, we got plot spoil right now, blinking all over the place.
Oh, I was going to say, man.
His
of
face.
Course.
No, there's a big alarm right there. He says, of course.
I say, of course, too.
You do?
I do.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
In the final scene, when he looks at her.
Yes.
They're the same team.
All right, question number 2.
Okay, this is a deal breaker. Sean, what movie do you like better? What's your preference, Get Out or Us, if you just had to pick one?
Well, that's a tough question because I love Get Out, but technically, Us is a better film.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes.
Well said. That's
Yes.
why
Good.
we like
Thank
you,
you.
Sean. You
Thank you
just
very
tell
much.
it like it
Well
is.
said.
Thank you very much.
Well said.
All right, question
So,
number 3.
Sean, which actor do you feel stole the show? Which actor do you feel stole the show?
Which actor stole the show is the easiest question. Lupita Nyong'o is Red.
Oh, yeah.
She always
Yeah,
steals
so
the
you
show.
Sean, I think you're going to see an Academy Award nomination for this. What do you think?
Yeah.
You better. Come
Yeah.
on.
She's going to get her second statue because of this
Second.
movie. Oh, yeah.
How's he gonna own a trophy for winning in 12 Years a Slave and not this where she was 100
Right,
times better?
right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Hey, amen.
Really?
Hey, Sean, where can we find you?
You can find me at S. Edwards KC, K's and Kitten, C's and Cat, everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and I do respond back. I love conversations via social media.
Hey.
Whether they're negative or positive, I'll hit you back.
Thank you very much. Can I have you vow to be on our show every week that Us is number 1?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I love it. All right.
Everybody.
I'm not going to be number 1 next week, though.
Why? What's going to be number 1 next week?
Dumbo.
Oh, we'll see about that.
We'll see about that.
Dumbo will be
Yeah.
number 1.
If Sean's argument does ring true, the movie that's going to beat it is Dumbo. Danny DeVito, Colin Farrell, and the cast join us right after this on Extra Butter. Hey, welcome back. It is Extra Butter. Thanks for hanging out with us, and a shout out and a big round of applause to the men and women serving in the armed forces. Thanks for watching on AFN. And by the way, if you are anywhere in the globe and you're watching and you want more of our celebrity interviews, more of my interviews, her interviews, his interviews, their interviews, do that thing. Jump on YouTube and follow us. It's Extra Butter.
Love it.
Subscribe. For
Extra
good
Butter.
luck.
Yeah,
Subscribe.
and jump in the comments and tell us what a schmuck I am. All right, you guys. There's one movie you got to take the kids to this weekend, and that movie is Tim Burton's masterpiece, Dumbo. How much are you guys looking forward to this?
I'm so excited because you have Tim Burton.
Yes.
And you have this iconic story, and when you mix these two things together, you get you're not going to leave this movie being sad. You're going to leave this movie feeling wonderful and amazing.
Yes.
Inspired.
Inspired, and Colin Farrell's in it.
Yes,
Honestly,
definitely.
wonderful
Right.
is the only word I can use to describe how I felt when I saw that Tim Burton was going to remake this movie. Because
Right.
anything that Tim Burton touches
That's
is
what I'm
magic.
saying,
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what I'm
magic.
saying.
Can we just talk about this? Like when I was a little kid, barely old enough to even reach the TV,
In the 30s.
in the 1930s, TVs were taller and you had to physically turn them on. We had no remotes. Danny DeVito was huge in Taxi. So that's like one of my first TV memories. So to interview this guy, and then I was telling you that my son loves
Yeah.
Always Sunny in
He
Philadelphia.
has a shrine, and I love
shrine to
Sunny.
Danny DeVito.
I love
crazy.
Sunny.
You can tell he's your son if he has a shrine to people like you do.
Right.
Can I just ask the obvious question? Is no one else concerned that Danny DeVito, who every word that comes out of his mouth in Sunny in Philadelphia is inappropriate?
Yeah, the kids had a swear jar on the set, and they had so much money collected. You know what they did with it? They donated it to charity. So keep cursing on the
Keep
sets of
cursing,
movies
Danny
with
DeVito.
kids and donate it to charity.
Danny DeVito and the kids
Honestly,
movie. That's an
the-
oxymoron.
I know.
The first time
But
I
it
saw the
works.
trailer for this movie, I literally thought to myself, Frank joins the circus. Like, I heard the music, and then I saw Frank joins the circus.
I want to see that movie. Instead, I talked about all this stuff. Take a look.
What does it mean to have a career that's spanned the gap, that so many different generations love
I
you?
think it's
and now
great.
this?
It's a good thing. I mean, I feel like this is like Dumbo is like our right now. It's like I feel like for kids of all ages. Matilda, a lot of young kids like very much. I get a lot of feedback from Hercules, which is also a Dumbo movie.
Sure.
Yeah, and so I like the fact that I have youngsters and also old timers like you and me. Thanks very
Honored
much,
to be in
Dan.
that club.
people who've seen War of the Roses and, and Ruthless People and all those other ones, and who knew Taxi when it was on. So it's kind of cool, to have that range of. And now with Sonny, Sonny's been on 13 years, and that's the thing with your son, your kids are, they all dig it.
Love that guy. Sitting across from you, you kind of feel like you're sitting next to someone doing like a Danny DeVito impression.
Yeah.
That's the real guy.
It must be so surreal. I'm just such a fan of Frank. I just see Frank. I just see Frank.
No kidding. I wanted, and no offense to this movie, I want to talk to him about anything other than a kid's movie so I can bust him out a little bit.
I know. And you got to talk to Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I've talked to him a few times.
Wait. If I can recall correctly, didn't something weird happen, or didn't you? Security was called. What did you do?
Wow. Okay, I can tell you an off-the-record story. Back in the day, a friend of mine that does interviews named Liam said, "Let's go to a pub." And I said, "All right." And we turned to a doorman and said, "You know where there's a good pub?" He said, 3 streets up and to the right. We walked 3 streets up and to the right into a pub. There are only 4 people in the pub, one of which is Colin Farrell. We ended up hanging out with him the rest of the night.
And my phone call was where?
Well,
what happened?
This was some time ago. Well, everybody was kind of wild back in the day, and in my interview, he said, "We've been hanging out. Do you mind if I smoke?" I said, "Go ahead." So he smokes in the interview, but he's trying to be polite and hold it down, and it looks like my pants are on fire.
Oh, wow.
Which, by the way,
liar.
Speaking of pants on fire, he actually complimented me on this suit, which I believe, including shipping, costs like $20.
Nice.
So take a look.
That's a wool, tweed wool.
I think it used to be auto upholstery up until like a week ago. Got it on Amazon.
It's good. I only ask because I've bought clothes on Amazon.
May I get a white shot over there, please? Thanks.
But never clothes that look that bespoke.
Yeah, well, thanks for acknowledging.
Yeah.
I can't lie to you, Colin Farrell. It is off of Amazon. It's like a $50 suit.
No, it's not.
It is.
I believe you. Really? I'm taking you at face value.
No, this is true. That's my son. Am I lying?
Hey, man.
All right.
How are you? That is off Amazon for $50.
Yes.
You have to give me the
All right.
thing. That's amazing.
All right. Hey, welcome back to transparency and fashion.
Yeah. Exactly.
Congrats on this.
Thank you, man.
You just reminded me of something, though. One of the very first times I interviewed you, we were all kind of wild back in the day, and you were smoking in the interview, but held it low so that I had
That was nice of me.
shot.
Yeah.
But in
just
the
for atmosphere. It's just for atmosphere.
I was going to say, in the B shot, it did look like my pants were on fire.
Oh, really? Smoking. Did you get a few calls after that? Did you get a couple of dates?
It may have worked out okay.
Good man.
This movie, remarkable. You have no other movie in your catalog that has this kind of heart.
No, it's lovely. It's unabashedly hopeful and optimistic, and I don't think shies away as well from the more dark aspects of the human condition, greed, avarice, the ability to be kind of unapologetically cruel toward each other that we have as human beings. But essentially at its core, it's the story of an outsider, and it's the story of a family coming together. And yeah, I loved it when I read it, man, and the idea that Tim was going to bring it to life was just a no-brainer.
Love me some Colin Farrell.
I love him.
The guy has grown as an actor, grown as a human being. I got to be honest, though, 20 years ago, and even now, I can't understand most of the things that come out of his mouth.
That accent is thick.
That's what's so cool about it.
Yeah,
Accent.
right? Because it doesn't even matter. You're like, yeah, I love you.
Him and Sean Connery.
Right?
Yeah, both. I can't.
Sean Connery.
Right.
But
Sean
that's so
Connery
cool.
carried the sexiness well into his upper years. Does Colin Farrell still have it?
Oh, yes.
When has he not had it? He can have it any day of the week,
Anytime.
any minute
Wow.
of the
You're engaged,
day.
first of all.
Well, there's
Wait, let
settle
me
down.
show you something. So Colin Farrell, I'm just kidding. I love you, baby.
I will say he's sexier than Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Does Danny DeVito still got it?
No. Yeah.
I don't think he ever had it.
The car
It's not
seats.
about looks, people. Danny DeVito would have you laughing your butt off the
Yes.
entire time. And
Yes.
he does
So
it.
true.
All the way down there.
So
Yeah.
true. There is additional hotness in this movie in the form of Eva Green. Have you talked to her? Anybody?
No, I have not. Those skills she has. She went through 3 months of training, and that's it. That's not a lot of training.
No, that's not.
And you would really believe that she's a real circus performer.
Yeah. Considering that people prepare their whole life to do this,
Yeah.
3 months really ain't anything.
And there were so many circus performers from all over the world in this movie. Contortionists, like
she held her
flamethrowers,
own.
jugglers, and you couldn't pick her out of the
No.
lineup.
No.
She held her
No.
own.
Yeah.
Yep.
She did a
No
great
visual
job.
effects
Fantastic.
needed. What I love when you were up there and we see Dumbo's reaction to what it's like to be at that height
Yes.
is very realistic to no one that's ever been at that height. So the first time you trained and saw what you would be doing on the ropes.
I mean, the circus people who trained with me were very kind, very patient, and they gave me confidence. So but I started quite low, and then day after day it was kind of getting higher and higher. And it's like you have that feeling sometimes of getting dizzy, and it's like you feel like you want to pass out. And I found a trick. It's like you have to sing really loud or say silly things to kind of like forget that you're up there.
Right.
But it's a great thing. It was a great achievement for me. I thought I would be afraid of heights for life, and
sure.
It's kind of amazing.
It was a breakthrough.
It was a breakthrough. Yes.
Back to the singing. What would you be singing at very loudly?
I can't remember anything in French.
Hey, coming up in a moment, if you're staying home this weekend, you've got to hang out with Jennifer Lopez. Why? Second Act. Bust out on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital. We'll be right back. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us. This is Extra Butter. If you're just tuning in, it's Steph, it's Kelly, it's Maria Gloria. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Marquez Allen. Look, we talk about movies the way you talk about movies, and not just the movies that you can see in a cush movie theater like this. How about movies you can check out at home?
Those are the best.
Yes. Especially when they include the one and only
Leah Remini.
J-Lo. So this movie, it's brought to you by director Pete Siegel. If that name sounds familiar, he did 50 First Dates, and The Longest Yard. The guy's a great director, Nutty Professor 2. The guy knows what he's doing when it comes to comedy, but at the same time, if you remember like 50 First Dates, there's deep heart in there too.
Yeah.
And I remember, Steph, you said this movie truly affected you.
I love this movie. First of all, because of J-Lo. I love J-Lo. J-Lo, let me know.
Established.
I was going to give you the fifth ring, but you
yes.
went there. Anyway.
Thanos
but
over here.
There's always,
always
the sixth ring.
It talks about adoption and reunion of the child and the parent, and I was adopted, and I had a reunion with my parent as well, my biological parent. And so this touched my heart. It was really great. It was realistic because it was some friction at first, and then there was some acceptance. So I loved it. It was realistic, and the movie really touched me.
And like you said, you could tell they're friends, and when I sat down with them, you could totally, you walk into these rooms, and these junket rooms, 9 out of 10 stars, hate them, but you could tell they love just being together wherever they were.
Yeah. It had nothing to do with you. They just love being with each other.
It's true. If anything, they were mocking me because, when I go into a room, I go, okay, I need a 2-shot over there, a single over there, and they called me out on directing the shots. Take a look.
Also, can you go Dutch angle, and can I get pushed back in a dolphin? Sorry. Just trying to impress Leah here, because she likes it when I talk tough. When I call some shots.
That's right. Get it done.
Right.
That's funny.
And also,
That
me
was
being
funny.
bold like that is so anti-me, because, he knows me. I'm like
I
the kind
love
of guy.
it. That's amazing.
Get the whole thing over the deal.
That's great.
Right. Hey, guys. I love this movie.
Thank
The
you.
mood you seem to be in right now is my mood when I'm watching that movie.
Thank you.
Love
That
to
makes
hear
us feel
that.
so good.
It really does.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, the most cliche question you can ever ask on this side is the movie as much fun to make as it is to watch? But there is a moment, especially the salt and pepper dance moment, where they gotta be having fun.
We did.
We had fun all the time.
When she grabbed my boob, it was really
I grabbed
fun.
her boob, I grabbed everything on her, and what's amazing is you can only really do that with your friends.
Right.
Right.
Well, you should only do that with your friends.
What? Consenting situations only.
Right.
Right. Don't make me say things that I don't want to
Yeah,
say.
no, I'm saying, yeah.
But the
It was a tremendous amount of fun.
Yes, and that's what makes work so much easier, because it is work. It's not like we were working double shifts.
Long hours. She
Yes.
was doing her show at the same time. She
Right.
was doing this. I
And
was
she was
working on music and doing everything else I was doing at that time.
Yes.
Shades of Blue, I think.
Yes.
I mean, it was a crazy time, but
Yes.
coming to work and getting to work with your best friend and doing comedy and ad-libbing and having emotional moments
Yes.
together it was just awesome.
Love them, love this movie.
Love
For you, you'd probably recommend people buy the movie.
Buy the movie. This is not Netflix and chill. This is go buy it and get it.
I liked it. I don't know if I'd go buy it, but do rent it. And if you do rent it, save your money and don't get it in HD. You're going to want to get Aquaman in HD to see every one of Jason Momoa's 6,000 abs. He's our guest next on Extra Butter. Extra Butter! Welcome back. We're about to wrap up this show. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube. Simply Extra Butter. Comment, subscribe.
There's good stuff on there, people.
All right, we're in a movie theater. Thanks, Century, for letting us crash the party. But we want to talk about what you can watch at home this weekend. No doubt you already know Aquaman has arrived.
This movie has a fan base.
Oh, yeah.
All DC
Fantastic.
movies, Jason Momoa has his fan base.
Right.
So most likely everyone has already seen this movie, but if not, you might want to buy it. It's a little cheesy, but the underwater fake scenes are amazing. And Jason Momoa, he's a kick-ass dude.
He made me feel bad about my obvious lack of interview skills. Like, I lead in and I'm trying to Wikipedia him and just to fact check some things. It didn't go well. Take a look.
Not right.
Hey, good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too.
Congrats on this.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to screw this up. Joseph Jason Momoa.
Almost.
Ah, nuts! What did I get wrong?
Namakaeha.
All right, rapid round of questions. True or false, you once moved to Paris to paint pastel paintings?
No, it's totally, Wikipedia sucks.
Okay, so then you did not live with Tibetan monks?
No, no.
All right. You didn't take your dreadlocks off because they gave you headaches at one point?
Nope.
You love Aquaman and think it's one of the best movies ever made?
Yep.
I just needed something positive.
If you're going to rent it, go ahead and get it in HD because, again, you and your sister and your multiple bottles of wine are going to want to see every ab on that guy.
And lean in.
All right. Hey, we have a few seconds left. How do you like to watch movies? Me, I'm a purist, so I like the lights to be off and for people to stop talking the moment you hit play. How do you like to watch movies?
Naked.
Good
Same.
time.
Remember that one time?
What movie were you?
Yeah, we can either.
Were you there? I wasn't there. I didn't get to see that.
I didn't get the invite
It wasn't no Me Too movement here.
It's actually on our YouTube channel, so if you go to Extra Butter TV,
go subscribe.
No doubt, that's where we're going to park it. So go to YouTube. You can also follow us and keep the conversation going on Facebook. It is Extra Butter TV there, YouTube Extra Butter, and have yourselves a great weekend.
I like it under my Snoopy blanket.
That's right.
Snoopy blanket and lights off.